Dear you, I'm writing to you from a version of yourself who remembers the first time you became afraid to hope again. It wasn't because you didn't want good things. It wasn't because you stopped believing in the possibility of something better. It was because life had handed you disappointments that left marks deeper than anyone realized. You learned quietly and painfully that hope could be risky, that letting yourself want something meant opening your heart to the possibility of losing it. And so you began to protect yourself, not by giving up, but by expecting less. I remember the way you smiled when others talked about their dreams, even though a small ache tugged at the back of your chest. You wished you could feel that same lightness, that same excitement, but something inside you whispered, "Don't get too attached, don't get too hopeful, don't get hurt again." And because you had once hoped with your whole heart and watched things crumble anyway, you believed the whisper. You weren't wrong for trying to protect yourself. Pain taught you to be cautious. Loss taught you to be guarded. Disappointments taught you to be realistic. But underneath all of that caution lived a quiet longing, a longing for something more, for something gentle, for something true. You tried to smother that longing because it felt safer to want nothing than to risk wanting everything. There were nights when your mind wandered to the things you secretly hoped for, the people you wanted to meet, the life you wanted to build, the dreams you shelved because they felt too fragile. But as soon as warmth flickered inside you, fear stepped in and dimmed it. You told yourself you were being practical, that there was no point in reaching for something uncertain. But deep down, you were grieving, not for what you had lost, but for the parts of you that once dared to hope freely. You carried that grief alone. You kept it tucked behind your composed expressions and steady voice. You didn't want anyone to see how tired your heart felt, or how afraid you were of believing in something good. But I saw you. I saw how hard it was to hold your hope in a fist so tightly that it barely had space to breathe. And I want you to know, nothing about your fear made you weak. It made you human, someone who had been hurt deeply, but still longed quietly for gentle days ahead. Hope is a fragile thing, especially when it's been broken before. You learned that the hard way. You learned that the things you wanted didn't always arrive, that the people you trusted didn't always stay, that the effort you poured into life didn't always bloom the way you expected. And each time something didn't work out, a small part of you folded inward, protecting itself from the sting of disappointment. You weren't afraid of hope itself. You were afraid of what came after it. You feared the crash that follows excitement. You feared the emptiness that follows loss. You feared the disappointment that follows vulnerability. So you tried to keep yourself safe by not wanting too much, by lowering your expectations, by settling for fine instead of reaching for fulfilling, by convincing yourself that hope was reckless. But your past self wants you to understand something profoundly true. Hope didn't hurt you. Your experiences did, and you survived them. Hope is not the enemy. Hope is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. Hope is the quiet force that keeps your heart from hardening. Hope is the warmth that keeps you from going numb. You didn't lose the ability to hope. You simply buried it beneath layers of emotional protection. And you buried it so deeply because you never wanted to feel that helpless, disappointed ache again. That's valid. That's human. But here's what your past self sees clearly. Your fear was never a sign that hope was wrong for you. It was a sign that you were healing. Healing from the weight of expectations. Healing from past heartbreaks. Healing from believing that you must endure everything alone. Hope isn't about guarantees. Hope is about possibility. It's about allowing yourself to imagine a life where joy exists again, where connection feels safe again, where new beginnings feel real again, where you trust yourself enough to try again. Your fear didn't mean you were giving up. It meant you were longing for something more, but didn't yet feel ready to reach for it. And that longing, that quiet ache, it was the first spark of hope returning, even before you realized it. Now I'm speaking to the version of you reading this today, the you who has survived hurt, disappointment, endings, and uncertainty. I want you to release the idea that hope is dangerous. You are not the same person you were when hope last hurt you. You are wiser now, stronger now, softer in the right ways, firmer in the ways that matter. You can trust yourself to handle whatever comes. You can trust your heart to rebuild if needed. You can trust your spirit to rise again and again. You don't need to leap into hope with reckless abandon. You can approach it gently, carefully, slowly, tenderly. Hope doesn't have to be loud. It can be a whisper, a small warmth in your chest, a soft belief that maybe, just maybe, good things are still possible for you. Let yourself hope in small ways first. Hope for peaceful mornings. Hope for honest conversations. Hope for people who make you feel safe. Hope for moments that make your heart feel lighter. And slowly, you'll begin to hope for bigger things. New beginnings, deeper connections, meaningful changes. The life you've always yearned for. One day, you'll look back and realize that hope didn't return all at once. It returned like morning light, soft, gradual, quiet, impossible to stop. It returned because you allowed it to, because you finally chose to believe that you deserved more than survival, because your heart, despite everything, still wants to grow. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to believe again. You are allowed to trust that your future can be brighter than your past. Hope didn't break you. Life tested you, and you rose. Your past self is proud of you. Not because you stayed guarded, but because you are still searching for the courage to open your heart again. And that search is the beginning of everything. Take a slow breath now. Let it warm the parts of you that once grew cold. Let it whisper gently, "You can hope again. It's safe now. Sincerely, you."